Arrest her immediately. Your wife's broken community law and I demand federal prosecution. That's what she said, loud enough to wake the dead, and definitely loud enough for the sheriff's deputies she just dragged to our ranch like we were running some kind of backwoods crime ring. Her voice cut through the morning air like a busted weed whacker, screechy, smug, and absolutely sure of itself. All this drama, over a wooden chair sitting beside our chicken coop. But then, just like that, my wife pulls out her wallet, hands them her ID, and the world just stops. Both deputies go pale, like ghost pale. Then they turn, stand up straight, and go, "Sorry, Your Honor." They bowed to my wife. And Karen, well, Karen looked like she just swallowed a lemon made of regret. See, what she didn't know, what most folks around here still don't know, is that my wife, Elena, ain't just some farmer's wife. She's a sitting county judge. And Karen just tried to have a judge arrested over lawn furniture. Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec. It was just a normal Tuesday on our little slice of heaven in Windmere Hollow. I was out feeding the hens, watching them cluck around in their usual feathered chaos, when Elena stepped out with 2 mugs of coffee. Hair pulled back, wearing one of my flannels like she always does, smiling like peace itself. And that chair, that old wooden thing beside the coop, that was her favorite morning spot. I built it myself out of salvaged barnwood when we moved out here last fall. Nothing fancy, just a place for her to sit, sip coffee, and watch the sunrise. That chair was a symbol of everything we'd left the city for. Slow mornings, quiet space, freedom from the grind. And right when the world was still golden with dew and calm. Karen Bristow rolls up in her spotless white Lexus at exactly 8:17 a.m., clipboard in hand. Sunglasses that screamed, "I run this place," and that expression, you know the one, like she smelled something bad but couldn't quite find the source. She marches across our gravel with all the authority of a self-appointed dictator and goes, "Mrs. Torres, you're in violation of HOA Section 14B3, unauthorized outdoor furniture in a regulated agricultural zone." She literally said it like she was reciting scripture. Now, Elena doesn't flinch, doesn't roll her eyes, just takes the notice, glances at it like it's a restaurant menu, then walks over to the trash can, tears it up without saying a word, and drops it in like confetti. And Karen? She nearly burst a blood vessel. "I'll have you cited, fined, prosecuted." I stood there thinking, lady, you have no idea who you're messing with. But the best part, the part that still makes me laugh when I'm fixing fences, is how she pulled out her phone and filmed the whole thing, acting like she was catching some criminal mastermind on tape. 2 hours later, she'd already uploaded an edited video online with captions like, "Judge thinks she's above the law." Then came the deputies. She actually called the sheriff, over a chair, and demanded immediate arrest. She met them like she was presenting evidence in a courtroom, gesturing dramatically to the chair like it was the scene of a violent crime. The 2 deputies looked confused, a little bored, like, here we go again. But when Elena handed over her ID, and they saw who she was, their whole posture changed. Respectful, careful, apologetic. Karen? She just stood there frozen. What's going on? What did she show you? Why are you... She never got an answer. Just a polite suggestion from the deputies to work out HOA disputes through formal channels. Maybe mediation, not emergency calls. Now here's where it gets ugly. Karen didn't back down. No, she doubled down. Edited the video to make it seem like she was the victim of judicial corruption. Started spreading it like wildfire. Within 6 hours, it had over 200 shares on the local Facebook groups. People were commenting stuff like, "No one's above the law and abuse of power." And you know what? For a minute, it worked. Some neighbors actually believed her. But Karen wasn't working alone. That's when Councilman Brent Holloway enters the picture. Slick hair, political smile, the kind of guy who looks like he practices handshakes in the mirror. I caught him visiting Karen's house not long after the incident. They were whispering on her porch like co-conspirators in a made-for-TV drama. And sure enough, I overheard enough through the open window to get the full picture. This wasn't about a chair. This was about land. See, Elena's suspension from the bench, which Karen triggered with her bogus complaints, gave Holloway an opening. He was planning a luxury development right through our valley, and Karen's been the tip of the spear. Fines, fees, citations, all strategically aimed to push families to sell under pressure. Elena and I, just the first domino. Their plan was simple: harass, destabilize, depress property value, then swoop in with lowball offers. They even had a map with properties circled like targets. And that damn wooden chair? It was just the excuse they needed to start the whole thing. I told Elena. We sat at the kitchen table that night, bourbon in hand, and I said what I never thought I'd say. Maybe we should just move the chair. Elena stared at me like I'd lost my soul. We didn't run from Atlanta when your boss stabbed you in the back and left us for broke. We didn't run when people said we were crazy to start over in the middle of nowhere. And we sure as hell aren't running now. Not when families like the Dominguezes are being fined for growing vegetables and Mrs. Halston's grandkids are being threatened over chicken coops. She was right. She always is. So we got to work. Within a week, Elena had rallied 7 families who'd all been targeted. We had 2 deputies who'd quietly started documenting HOA abuse, and, jackpot, a federal investigator looking into Holloway's shady development funding. When the HOA hosted a community forum to address the controversy, Karen strutted in like a reality TV queen, cameras rolling, supporters clapping. She spoke first, dramatic as ever, painting Elena as a rogue judge and herself as some kind of patriotic whistleblower. Then Elena stood. No microphone thumping, no yelling, just calm clarity. She thanked Karen, said, "You've brought everyone here, so let's talk facts." Then she dropped the hammer. 23 sworn affidavits. HOA violations that didn't exist in the bylaws. Fines issued without due process. Photos, emails, recorded threats. A literal binder of proof. And then, the twist. Live on camera, Elena handed a document to a Channel 8 reporter, just as federal agents walked in and placed Brent Holloway under arrest for fraud, abuse of public office, and conspiracy. The room went dead silent. Karen, mouth open, tried to protest, but no one was listening. Because Elena wasn't finished. She read out loud a message from the State Judicial Board, fully reinstating her as county judge, citing unfounded accusations made in bad faith. Karen collapsed into her seat like a deflated balloon. And when Elena offered her a chance, counseling and community service instead of prison, Karen actually cried. Real tears. No performance this time. That was 6 months ago. Karen now volunteers 3 days a week at the senior center, quietly picking up trash and helping with meals. Holloway's career is over. The HOA board was dissolved and the new one, made up entirely of people who were once targeted. And the chair? Still sits next to the coop. Still holds my wife's coffee every morning. And now, it holds a legacy. A reminder that the smallest things can shake the biggest lies. But here's the real question. Was that justice? Or was that just revenge served politely? You tell me. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if someone tried to take your home with a fake fine? Let's talk.